Hello, good morning, grade 5. How are you today? So, this morning we will have our new topic, and it's all about plants. Do you love plants? Okay, so here, let me show you this picture. Do you know who are they? What are they doing? Okay, they are the botanists. And these are the scientists who study plants. They look for some characteristics that are common to different plants. When all these plants with some common characteristics are put together, they form a group or a class of plants, which is given a scientific names. So this scientific name is the same in all parts of the world. These plants have local names in different places where they are found. So botanists have made it easier to study these plants by classifying them in many ways. Okay? So now let's talk about the primitive forms of plants. So these are considered as the oldest form of life on Earth, and they are called anaerobic bacteria. So do you know why they are called anaerobic bacteria? Okay, because they live in places with either less oxygen or without oxygen. And the examples for this are bacteria and viruses. So places with less oxygen are the swamps, mud, and lake bottoms. When anaerobic bacteria are exposed to oxygen, they die. Okay, so this time, let's talk about bacteria. Bacteria is very familiar to you because bacteria is surrounding us. Okay, so these are the very tiny and microscopic plants. They are one-celled plants and reproduce by being divided into two. So bacteria often cause diseases like tuberculosis, typhoid fever, and pneumonia. But some species of bacteria rather, are also beneficial, or they have also an advantage. So they break down the tissues of dead things that contain nutrients, which may be consumed by other living things. Okay, so there are three types or three forms, common forms of bacteria. So we have the bacillus or the bacilli. We have the rod shape, look up. And then we have the cocci or cocci. It's a spherical shape. And we have the spirilla. It has a corkscrew shape. So they can either be above alone or in groups. So when we say bacilli, they cause diseases such as tuberculosis, leprosy, and typhoid fever. When we say cocci, it causes boils, pimples, okay, girls or boys. That's why we have pimples because of this bacteria, cocci. And skin infections such as gonorrhea. And then we have the spirilla. These are the most deadly bacteria and can cause syphilis. So these are the three common forms of bacteria. So this time, let's have the viruses. So do you know what picture is this? Okay, so this is the coronavirus image of 401, sorry. Okay, look up. It's like a crown, okay? So viruses, these are parasites that invade living cells. They are very tiny and can cause disease such as rabies, smallpox, polio, influenza, measles, chickenpox, and others. So have you tried experience chickenpox? Yeah, okay. So this time, let's have the classification of plants according to common characteristics. So plants may be classified by grouping them according to their common characteristics. So they are grouped based on their structures, based on their characteristics. And there are two types. We have the vascular and non-vascular plants. So it depends on the part of the plants used to transport water and other nutrients. So this time, let's talk about the first type of plant. We have the vascular plant, or the other name or the scientific name is Tracheophytes. So in vascular plants, look at the image. In vascular plants, it makes up a group of plants called Tracheophytes. So these are the plants with vascular bundles with true roots, stems, and leaves. And vascular bundles, remember this one, grade 5, are made up of two tissues. These are the xylem and the phloem. So when we say xylem, this is the tissue that transports water with dissolved nutrients from the roots to the leaves. Remember that one. From the roots to the leaves, that is the xylem. While the phloem tissue, it transports dissolved food from the leaves to all parts of the plant body. Okay, so those are the two vascular bundles, the xylem and the phloem. So all kinds of present-day plants are 90% vascular plants. The seed-bearing vascular plants and spore-bearing, these are the two big groups of vascular plants. So there are two groups of vascular plants. First, we have the seed-bearing vascular plants, or what we call spermatophytes. Okay, so these plants have seed for reproduction. So based on the name, seed-bearing vascular plants. And these are the largest group of vascular plants. There are two groups of seed-bearing vascular plants, the angiosperms or flowering plants and the gymnosperms or non-flowering plants. So let's have the first group of seed-bearing vascular plants. We have the gymnosperms. Oh no, wait. The angiosperm rather. Okay, so the other word for angiosperm is flowering plants. So these plants have seeds inside their fruits. Angiosperms are the most plentiful kinds of plants living today. So all angiosperms have two characteristics. Remember this one? All have flowers and all have seeds that develop within fruits. Angiosperms or flowering plants are divided into two groups based on the number of their seed leaves. And we have this, the monocots and the dicots. So the angiosperms have two groups, and it is what we call the monocot and the dicot. So I want you to observe the picture. What is the difference between the monocot and the dicot? Based on the seed, root, the vascular tissue, the leaf, and the flower. Okay, go. Okay, what have you observed? Wow, very good, grade 5. So, when I say monocot, these plants have one seed leaf, okay, or cotyledon. Monocots have long, narrow, and parallel veined leaves. Look at the leaf, okay? And the parts of their flowers mostly come in three or multiple of three. And the vascular system of monocots is scattered through the stem. So examples for monocots are the grass, the rice, the lilies, palm trees, coconuts, orchids, bananas, corn, and onions. Those are examples for monocots. So these are your indications of monocots. So how about the dicot? Okay, so these plants have two seed leaves. Dicots have netted veined leaves. Look at the leaf. It's like a net. And part of their flowers may either be fours, fives, or indefinite numbers. So their vascular systems occur in rings. Oh, look at the vascular system. It's like a ring, which allow them to grow in height. Okay, an example for dicot or mangoes, guava, and santol, those are the examples for dicots. So trees are the most common forms of dicots. And also we have the roses, peanuts, chayote, and sunflowers. Those are the dicots also. Okay? So it is difficult to imagine a world without angiosperm. So much of the beauty of natural world are provided by them. Angiosperms also produce majority of our food and is the basis of modern agriculture. And they provide people with important products such as wood, cotton, oil, medicine, and spices. Okay? So, here, let's have the next group. We're done with the angiosperms, so let's have the gymnosperms. These plants have seeds that are not enclosed in a fruit. So gymnosperms is the common name for non-flowering seed-bearing plants, which already existed 300 million years ago. So the word gymnosperm means naked seeds, okay, or seed-bearing vascular plants because the seeds is exposed. So they make up about one-third of the vegetation of the world's forest. An example for gymnosperms are the cycads. Okay, look up. Are you familiar with this one? I have this one at home. Yeah, this kind of plant. And then the ginkgos. It's very familiar. And then also we have the conifers and also the ferns. Okay, those are the examples for gymnosperms. Also, we have the pines, cedars. It's not really familiar to you because these plants grown outside the Asia. Okay, so those are the examples for gymnosperms. Are we clear, grade 5? Okay, very good. So let's have the second type of plant. We're done with the bus uh we've done with the seed bearing, so let's have the spore bearing vascular plant, or the scientific name is the pteridophytes. Okay, so these plants have true roots, stems, and leaves, but do not have seeds and flowers. So earlier, the seed bearing, they have their true roots, stems, and leaves, and they have their seeds and flowers. But the spore bearing, they don't have seed and flowers. And pteridophytes have reproduction structures called spores. That's why it's spore bearing, because they reproduce through the spores. Okay, and the examples for this are the ferns. Okay, club mosses and horsetails. These are example of horsetails. Are you familiar with this one? Okay, those are examples for spore-bearing vascular plants. Okay, so those are the two types of seed-bearing. Uh, two types of vascular plants rather. We have the seed-bearing and also the spore-bearing. Okay, so let's have the second type of plant. It is the non-vascular plants, or what we call atracheophytes. So these plants do not have structures that transport water and nutrients, and they do not have true roots, stems, and leaves. So meaning, these kind of plants don't have xylem and phloem tissues. And non-vascular plants are divided into thallophytes, which are the algae and fungi, and then the bryophytes, which are the mosses and liverworts. Okay, so here, the thallophytes. Look at the thallophytes. So these are included in the simplest group of plants. They lack true roots, stems, and leaves, and flowers, of course. So they have no chlorophyll and do not make their own food. Okay, remember that one. Thallophytes, they don't make their own food. They live and feed on other plants and animals. An example for this is algae and fungi. Okay, also bacteria. So those are the examples for thallophytes. So look at the algae. So they are considered as the most important photosynthesizing organisms on Earth because they capture more energy from the sun and produce more oxygen compared to other plants. That's why, look at the algae. So the Bisaya word for this is guso. Okay, so guso is an example for algae, and they are very important on the ocean because they release oxygen. Okay, so it is a very important. So algae or pond scum are plant-like organisms that use the energy of the sun to make their own food. So algae are most important food makers in the aquatic world. They are food to small fishes and insects. Algae supply oxygen for fishes and other water organisms. So this time, let's explore the green algae. Okay, so look at the green algae. So when you go to the beach, go to the oceans, it's very familiar to you. It's very familiar to this picture, right? So those that is an example for green algae, the most diverse group of algae. Although its major pigment is chlorophyll, it also contains yellow carotenes. That is why it looks yellow-green. Green algae are common in ponds and lakes, but some are marine organisms. Okay, that is the green algae. Okay, how about the red algae? Grow attached to rocks, shells, or other surfaces. Some can live in very deep water. Okay, that is the guso, the red algae. So they seldom exceed in 1 meter in length. Some red algae are important food plants in parts of Asia as they are used in ice cream, preserves, and puddings. Okay, so the red algae are also used to manufacture agar, so which is used in making gelatin. Okay, so they are used in laboratories for growing bacteria and fungi, as well as in research or as an aid in identifying disease organisms. So red algae used to create or to manufacture agar. So agar, it is used in laboratories if you want to grow bacteria or fungi. Okay? And we have the last, the brown algae. It is the largest algae. So most brown algae are marine organisms and they are common in coastal areas, especially in cold water. So brown algae are used in many ways. They are eaten in Asia. They are used as animal feeds and as fertilizers in Northern Europe. And brown algae also have a chemical use in the manufacture of latex, ceramic glaze, cosmetics, and ice cream. So when you eat your ice cream, oh, there is an algae there. Okay? So now let's have the fungi. So these plants lack chlorophyll and cannot make their own food. So fungi are commonly found growing on rotting leaves, wood, or animal waste. So they are parasites as some fungi grow on plants and others attack animals. So ringworm and athlete's foot are fungi that infect humans. Okay? So we have the types of fungi. We have the sac fungi and the cloud fungi. So here, the sac fungi include yeast and green mold. So this kind of fungi lives mostly on land. So yeast is rich in proteins and vitamins and it breaks down sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide when oxygen is absent. Okay? When I say club fungi, these are food for most people. Do you like to eat this mushroom? Okay, this is a mushroom and it is a fungi and um, they add flavor to that fungi. Okay, and then care must be taken in eating mushrooms as not all of them are edible and most of them are poisonous and are instantly fatal. So if you saw some mushroom in your house, in your backyard. So don't eat kuan ha directly. You make sure that it is safe. Okay, you ask your parents for that. Okay, so those are the examples for fungi. Okay, are you okay for there? Okay, let's have the bryophytes. So we have the bryophytes. So these are small land plants that grow on land but are still restricted to moist areas. So bryophytes have stem-like and leaf-like parts. Okay, they live on tree trunks, shaded areas, swamps, or in places where there is plenty of water. Okay, mosses and liverworts are bryophytes. Okay, so this is the mosses, the liverworts, and the hornworts. So we have the mosses. So it grows from spores. So they look like a soft green carpet that covers rocks. Okay. And then also we have the liverworts. These are very tiny plants and cannot grow tall. So they grow in clusters. Liverworts are found along stream banks. Okay, so those are the examples for bryophytes. Okay, grade 5, are we clear? Okay, very good. So now, look at the picture. What is the difference between the three? Look at the heights. Okay, so trees, these are the plants have a tall, woody stem called a trunk. Examples of trees are the coconut, palm, acacia, and nara. Okay, and we have the shrub. These are plants with low, woody stems branching closely to the ground. So the gomamela, sampaguita, and San Francisco are example for shrubs. And also we have the last one, the herbs. These are plants with soft green stems, and the banana, the cabbage, and mayana are examples for herbs. Okay, so those are the differences for the trees, the herbs, and the shrub. Okay, so I want you to get your paper and pen. So you answer this one. Okay. So you identify the kinds of plants. So write your answers on your paper. Okay, so you can have 3 or 4 answers in each number. Okay, like for example, corn. So corn can be vascular. It is an example class ha. For number 1, corn. So maybe you can write there V if it is if it is under in vascular plants. D if it is a dicot, or letter G if it is gymnosperms. So again, for each number, you can have 3 or more answers. Okay? So you send your answers in Cerebro. You click there, pre-recorded answers plans. Are we clear, grade 5? Okay, thank you so much, grade 5. I hope you learned something for today. Goodbye. Have a nice day.